You're listening to the NAMAD Sessions by Mia, live from the NAMAD Annual Membership Meeting 2025.
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back. I'm Errol Bomar, More Than Cars, and we are here at NAMAD, and we're having conversations brought by Mia. I'm excited for our next guest. I've got Marc Bland. Marc, I'm going to hit you with this. What up, though?
What up, though? From the D. Oh, no, I'm ready for it.
You weren't ready.
Oh, yes, I am every day.
Now, here's the only thing, though. I'm going to tell you.
Pause comes from, that's the natural Detroit pause.
I think it was Cody.
C-O-D-Y.
I'm a husky.
Uh-oh, watch out.
But we still cool, though.
Okay. Oh, we all good.
Yeah, okay.
We all good.
That wasn't your phone ringing.
That was not me. I was making sure. I wanted to make sure, man.
So, welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you, man. How you
feeling? What up, though? I'm good.
Good. That's it.
All the way from Detroit.
Right. You know, it's funny. You come out here and they have like the little conies and stuff they try to bring because people, they transplant and they try to bring that. See, it's not the same.
I'm going to let you say, you said little conies, so I'm just going to leave it at that, man. You said it best.
I know, I did it. I did it intentionally because we have a whole inside thing about saying the word little and,
That's a Detroit thing. That's good. So
anyway, so we're here at NAMAD. Yep. I'm excited to have you. So first off, for those that aren't familiar with you, tell them a little bit about you, your role at S&P Global.
Yeah.
And then also I want to hear from you about what you're excited about.
Oh, what I'm excited about. That's going to take some time, but no. So I'm Marc Bland. I proudly serve the auto industry as Vice President of New Business Development and Growth Markets for S&P. And for those who don't know, S&P, Standard & Poor's, or some people say Wall Street. So, because we have a big influence or we have a big part of that. What I do is in my current role, I make sure that our OEM, let's say our automotive partners, OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, a industry way of saying Ford, Audi, Toyota, Honda, General Motors, etc.
Right.
Make sure that they understand where the opportunities are to grow their bottom line, period, across all of our business segments. I was formerly a Chief Diversity Officer, but now, again, I'm Vice President of New Business Development. And that growth audience piece says I look at those consumers that are projected to really grow fast.
Okay.
And part of that group is African Americans, Asian Hispanics.
Absolutely.
And all women. All.
Yeah. So in what you look at from a day-to-day standpoint, right? Yeah. And just looking at that data, right? Yeah. Is there any common thing that you're seeing? Is there any common thing that you're seeing that's either A, a benefit, or B, an area for opportunity and growth?
So let me say this, what's going on in I'll call it, in the universal climate here in America.
Right.
I've talked to leaders in multiple industries, from home goods to telecom to electronics and automotive, of course. Of course. And they've all said the same thing. The first thing is, three things never go out of style. And those things are gross revenue, net profit, and customers.
Y'all got that?
And if you need a fourth, it's competition for all three of those things.
Right.
And so when you put in that framework, that's all, again, the key word is all, customers. So then the second piece I want to put on there is those same people I talked to said they're in constant search of identifying and retaining the most talented individuals from any ethnic background, any gender, either gender, tall, short, long hair, short hair. If you are talented, I want you on my team, because we have a goal of utilizing everybody to build the best products, services, in this case, cars, trucks, SUVs, to ultimately sell to who? Everybody.
Everybody. Makes sense.
So then my third piece is, now we're at NAMAD.
Yes.
The National Association of Minority Auto Dealers, but it represents, in some parts, blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Native Americans, and women.
Yes.
Those groups collectively make up a big part of everybody.
Big chunk.
And so it's important for the automakers to be here. It's important for S&P to be here to help support our automotive clients and partners. Because, again, their goal is to be everywhere that everyone is at.
Absolutely.
If that riddle makes sense. They want to be everywhere where everyone is at. Yeah. And that includes all the subcomponents, and thus NAMAD is really, really important to the bigger picture.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. And I think The important piece, from my perspective, is that when you get everyone, or when you have that opportunity to get that talented individual, you have to be mindful to create space for them.
Yep.
I think sometimes what happens is you might have that talented individual, but if that space is not created for them to flourish in that environment, it doesn't matter how talented they might be. You know what I mean?
Yep. So just to simply put, what I've learned through my undergraduate, graduate studies, and just being in the business world for over 20-some years, 26 to be exact, automotive, to create a product or service for everyone, you have to have some inputs from everyone.
Absolutely.
It's just that simple, man.
Yeah.
And I don't like using the salad analogy and all that because we're people, we're human beings.
Right.
But just if I'm trying to create a vehicle that's going to satisfy the needs of men, women, tall people, short people, blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Native Americans, Caucasians, Italians, Russians.
Right.
Let me try to get as much input from as many of those groups as I possibly can, which the goal is all. But as many as you possibly can.
Right.
Therefore, when it's time to go to sale, who had inclusion on this? Who put into this?
Yes.
Therefore, you're probably going to get those same people to buy into, which is, again, back to the all.
Yeah, because it creates a certain level of pride. And that feeling of being included in the decision making, in the thought process, in the creation of it, now attaches a certain level of pride. I think us both being from Detroit, I think we can resonate with that. Like, there was an ownership. My father did 51 years at General Motors.
Okay.
And there was a certain level of pride and ownership that that carried through in everything, from the product or from the belief in the company or the brand and things of that nature. So when you're right, when you do get that input from everyone, it makes a much more widespread product as opposed to just serving a little, the market that you're, consistently been serving.
So I'm going to switch it over a little bit to our data. We have data at S&P that's focused on one of the bigger parts of the auto retail business, which is called loyalty or retention.
Okay.
Right? Because there's a fact out there that says it's 4 to 5 times more expensive to go and identify new customers as it is to retain the existing customers. Right. So there's a piece that we serve up to the auto industry called loyalty, right? Where we measure, hey, if I have brand A, when I go back to market, how likely am I to, again, go and buy another vehicle from brand A?
Yes.
Versus a defector would have brand A and then go and buy from brand B.
Right.
And that has shown us that when you look at it from a consumer base, there's some strong statistical data that shows, number one, blacks are the most loyal consumers in the whole industry.
Yeah.
Consistently over 50%, which from a dealer, how does that resonate to a dealer or OEM? That means every 2 blacks that I sell a car to, one of them's coming back to me.
Right.
That's pretty good when you start thinking about keeping your lights on and payroll and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's how they start to look at it, and therefore marketing to groups makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, you got to be visible everywhere, because, again, going back, my ultimate goal is to sell cars to everyone.
But let me ask you this. So let's dig deeper on that, right? Because I think the marketing piece is important, but for me, I think you have to take it one step beyond the marketing piece, right? Because the marketing, I think, gets you in the door.
I'm listening.
But the treatment piece is what keeps you there, right? You know what I'm saying? So because the marketing is, I can hire an agency and they can come up with a great ad campaign and it can, hit all the buttons, so to speak. But if I get there from your marketing piece that I seen and I'm not treated with the same that I seen in the marketing piece, well, then now it makes it less likely that I'm going to return.
So let's take it a step further than that.
Yes, sir.
So you're right. It's what we call, at my chief revenue officer, he always comes up with this phrase called a triangle offense.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to talk about the triangle.
Right.
It starts way up the funnel, man, at product design.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You got to take this theme I'm putting out, everybody all in, right? My theme is all in. You need to get input from multiple folks, right? Definitely men and women.
Yes.
Because similar need to drive a vehicle from A to B, but while they're getting there, they got different things going on, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, women need a place to put their purse, and
Right.
therefore you got bigger, mid, cabin deals that'll hold a purse, and all these different things. So the design has to be right and meet the needs of all. Then to your point, marketing has to know the triggers,
Yes.
the different vessels that get people moving towards the dealership, past
Stir that
consideration,
emotion.
and to stir that emotion, right? But then now, okay, got them up, my vehicle's in the consideration set, they're at the dealer.
Yeah.
That's where the rubber really meets the road, right?
Absolutely.
Because there's data out there that says, hey, if I walk into a dealership, especially if I'm part of what we call the protected classes, et cetera, and nobody speaks to me in the first minute, 30 seconds, now do I walk out of that dealership, I walk out on that brand.
That brand, yes, 100%.
No, hey, I walked in, somebody said, hey, I see you over there, how you doing, welcome.
Right.
Get a cup of coffee. Okay, that need has been met. But now, show me the product, how you show me the product.
Yeah.
How clean is the place, the whole bit. Okay, we're past all that. I've got this, F&I.
Yes.
Oh man, your financial and your insurance offerings have to be right on point and help me meet my needs or make me feel that you're seeking to meet my needs.
Right.
Right? And then the biggest one of all, and I say that because the sale is a one-time thing, but the service and engagement has to be on point, man.
Yeah.
And all those things have to line up for you to go back to what I talked about before, which is that retention.
Yes.
For you to keep me, and more importantly, for me to recommend to my next door neighbor or family member your brand over the others, all those things have to be met.
Yeah.
So it's more than a triangle, it's more like a circle offense.
It is.
Because
And
it's continuous.
You're so correct, because I think it's very complex but very simple at the same time. Because if we just took into account our own personal daily life,
Yep.
and say, hey, what are the things that I'm constantly going back to, right?
Right.
You know, I have a meal replacement that I do every morning.
Okay.
Right? And I've been since this company probably 6 or 7 years.
Yep.
Right. And there's other products on the market, but that's where I've consistently gone, right?
Yep.
And I think it's because of their vision, what they stand for, what they're relaying, the information of what they're saying. Like, this is what our company believes in their brand.
Yep.
So there's a certain level of alignment, right?
Yep.
That comes into, okay, yeah, that aligns with my lifestyle of what I want to be in the health and diet and et cetera.
Yeah.
And I think if we all could individually, especially when we're talking about from an OEM level, from a dealer level, from any of those levels, there's things that we all do repeated behavior, right?
Right.
Take that, and what is it that makes you feel like, hey, I'm going to go back and buy this. I'm going to go back, and then duplicate that for your customers or for your end user, right?
Yep.
An OEM that I've had a chance to work with in particular, I remember for an electric vehicle they designed, they did kind of exactly what you mentioned. They brought in engineers from multiple departments, so just not just from the sedan or just from the SUV, but then what you came up with was a product that kind of met that. So for instance, one of the engineers on the program was 6'5". So for him, rear seat clearance was a big deal. And that's now incorporated as part of that design, you know? And so you see that in products if you get that feedback. But I think the biggest thing is intentionality and addressing and understanding the culture that you're trying to reach and serve.
So I like that you brought that into play, man. Intentionality is my new buzzword for this conference. My brother and good friend, Damian Mills,
Yes.
mega dealer, we were on a panel together, and he said, intentionality, man. Like, when you have a place at the table, you have to have intentionality to focus on and do the things we're talking about. So I like that word. And I think the OEMs, I'm not gonna say I think it's a weak statement. I know the OEMs have a lot of intentionality because I work with a lot of them, and a lot of them are really going at it. And when I say going at it, they are focused on it. They put people in charge of it.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're measured on the success of it. They have teams that are working for them on it on a daily basis, and it's their full-time job.
Right.
So I think that's the real important thing. It's not a part-time
Part-time.
gig or something we do on the weekend. This is their full-time gig, is to make sure that they're looking at everybody to build a product that's ultimately going to sell to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you think from your experience of what you've seen over, I think you said it's 26 years.
26, yeah.
What do you think is the biggest gap in the bridge? And is the gap in the bridge between that, like you said, the intentionality of including versus the feeling of being included, is that gap really there, and why does that gap still remain in this industry? That gap from feeling like, I want to support this brand, but I walked into the dealership and this happened, or I called my financing company and this happened. What do we do about that gap?
So, let me say this, and I think the gap is always going to be there.
Okay.
Why does Marc Bland say that? Represent S&P? Because at the end of the day, when we think about our OEMs, just take OEMs for instance, right? From A to Z, from Audi to Volkswagen, everybody in between, General Motors, Ford, Stellantis, Toyota, Honda, the luxuries, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Cadillac, etc. When you go a level down deeper beyond those brand names or those OEM names, since I'm an industry person and so are you, it's people that run those organizations, and there's people that run those different departments. And as long as there's people, with people, it's the opposite of the other P word, which is perfection. There's always going to be imperfection.
Yes.
So there's always going to be a person or people who don't understand the value of inclusivity.
Yes.
Who don't understand the value of the theme all in. And while there's people running things, that inconsistency is going to be there. So there's never going to be a magic pill we can all take and everybody's going to always get it.
Right.
So there's always going to be, like it is today, we have some OEMs that are really, really good.
Yeah.
And when you look at the numbers, and again, that's not today, I'm not going to go into that because I'll protect the innocent because everybody's trying. But there's OEMs that are really, really good, and their volume in certain segments or certain powertrains or certain whatever shows that. They're really, really good. There are other OEMs who have a lot of learning. I'm not going to say they're not good. They just have a lot of learning or catching up to do with the ones that are already really, really good. And then there's those ones in the middle.
Yes.
And as a industry leader that's been around the block a few dozen times.
Yes.
Times something else. I just think that's the answer, is that there's always going to be, ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
There's going to be big winners. There's going to be starters. And there's going to be that middle tier always, because there's always going to be those type of people that really see the vision and are out front. There's going to be the people that are going, hey, well, the way we did it 10 years ago is the way.
That's it.
And there's going to be those mid-progressives in the middle that are going, yeah, I like this, but haven't really adopted that. And so there's always going to be like the three different tiers.
Yeah.
That's Marc Bland's answer as a representative of S&P, but I believe that to be true based on what I've seen and the data that's out there.
Well, and I think, so I'm going to borrow the analogy, but I think you're absolutely correct, right? Yep. It's just like you mentioned, right? So if I take this and I've got it here, everybody can see the message because I'm facing it towards the camera.
You're facing it.
But if I turn it a little bit, you might see part of it, right? But if I turn it all the way, now we can see the message.
We can see it, but
they can't see it.
That's right.
So it's all goes back to that intentionality. It's the taking the time to turn it all the way around.
Yep.
To just be curious enough to take the time to look deep enough to see beyond what you just see from your inside perspective and your inside view.
And that is, that's a great analogy. Quick one, but a great one.
They'll catch it when they catch it. But Marc, before we get out of here,
yes, sir.
Thank you for the conversation, first off.
My pleasure, man.
But outside of your own personal, what you've seen in your 26 years,
yes, sir.
Is there any nuggets, any wisdom, any jewels you want to drop that you think, hey, if you're looking at this industry, this is something that you want to keep in your forefront. This is something you want to keep in mind. Obviously, we know it's the people of this industry that really push it. But
So I just came off a panel, And midway through the panel, there was a dealer, super dealer named Karen Sutton, good friend of mine. She has a dealership in Chicago, and she spoke about how they know who comes through the door, and they're really, really good about servicing who comes through the door. And she's on that because she sells a lot of cars. And then I piggybacked behind Karen, respectfully so, and said, hey, but there are organizations in this industry like ours, S&P and Carfax and Mastermind. It's my shameless plug, but there are others.
Yes.
We specialize. I mean, when I say specialize, we are what I call data scientists.
Okay.
We know who's in market.
Yeah.
We have a really good idea what they're looking for. We know their background.
Right.
Right? And so therefore, if you engage us, we can take the fishing that you're doing from just casting a good bait out into the water and hoping to the fish are right here. And these are the kinds of fish that are right here. Right. So if you're looking for a rainbow trout, they are right here in the southeast corner of this lake.
Yeah.
Use this bait and you will catch your limit, right? Using a fish analogy. And so we can help them identify. So my point, and what I want to make people aware is, people change, people can share different stories, but the data will not lie to you.
Yeah.
And there's data out there that's available to you, data and consulting that's available to you that can really help you sharpen your pen and really write some good, profitable stories. And if you utilize the data in addition to the smart and talented people that you have, I think you can really grow your bottom line a lot faster, incrementally.
What I hear Mark saying is work smarter, not harder. It's that simple.
Hey,
it's that simple.
But I had to go a little detailed, man.
Absolutely.
My brother.
I love it.
Appreciate the opportunity, man.
Same.
Anytime you need me, I'm here for you. On behalf of S&P, I'm Marc Bland. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with us. I'm Errol Bomar. This is More Than Cars, and these are our conversations from NAMAD, brought to you by Mia. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to this NAMAD session brought to you by Mia. At More Than Cars, we're obsessed with uniting people around one big idea, that thriving people are the only path to a thriving and profitable industry. And if that resonates with you, head over to morethancars.com to join our email list and check out our full list of podcasts and programming.